adoption. Now, let's look at it this way. Child fostering is when adults will step in, when people step in to take care of a child due to the parent's incapacities or, due to certain conditions of the parents. But adoption gives you a clean slate, to become the legitimate and legal parents of a child, taking care of the child and all of that. Now, while we think that this doesn't concern us, we are saddened with the constraints where a lot of people are only able to take care of their biological children, even when they have the blessing of having other children in their spaces. Is usually not in the best interest of the child. Some children are better off outside of the people who take them in to take care of them. But let me elucidate. Meanwhile, well done to all those who do such a fantastic job with other children who are not biologically theirs. Look, listen, to prove this further, there are people who even grow up with their aunties and their uncles, that is to say, siblings of their biological parents, but never got the kind of treatment that is befitting of members of a bloodline or within a bloodline. There are stories littered everywhere. And in my years and my experience of working with children, I have seen children who are not biological children grow up to make people who adopted them or fostered them very proud, honoring them in their older years and giving them all the succor. Now, for the Child Sake Masterclass 1.0, we're going to have professionals who are going to teach us and talk to us on child fostering and adoption, just in case there are people whose hearts, there's a saying I like, it says, we they do as we know read. Some people don't know as much. Everybody, based on your choices, you can choose to have the joy or live the joys of being a parent and being a fantastic parent, but these children must not necessarily be biological. And so there are certain steps that you must take if you want to start your fostering or adoption children. This is not to fight or to argue. Some people, either out of choice or for congenital reasons, will not be able to have biological children. Some men and some women will not be able to have biological children. But does that stop them from being parents? Not at all. You can be a parent. You necessarily don't need to be a biological parent. Now, having said that, there are so many other constructs. There are so many people who already have children, but they've not been able to enjoy the love of marriage, love of partnerships, love of being in a relationship, because their fear is that will they find people who will take care of the children they already have. Now, you do not need to go through that route. Register for the Child Sake Masterclass 1.0. This may just be your opportunity of getting basic. It is not me, it is, because you're not only going to listen to the voice of experience, you're going to listen to the voice of professionals and belong to a community of people who would hold your hands. Listen, nobody can from the communities that I belong to that a child who is necessarily not your biological child is as good as your child in every ramification and every dimension. But there are methods to these things. There are approaches to these things. And so I want you to register on the website www.dynamicconcern.com. You're going to find the link if you're single. In fact, the details are in the caption of this video. This is not just a masterclass. This is an opportunity, because we are talking about, parenting, childhood and child rearing in dimensions that are monumental. See you.